we're talking the spiritual shift and how there's no thinkers in the nether region unless you're a man. What's good, John Lonnie Appleton? I'm a healthy family advocate. If that's your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, reposting videos with your community so that we can grow. So yeah, there's no thinkers in the nether region of the chakras. From the stomach down, who's doing the thinking? But those lower chakras are what keep you tethered to this physical world. And so in our duality, we understand that our physical world or our spirit self, damn, I ground all my tomatoes up in my smoothie today. Or I would do my example. I did an example, but you know, it was a bad video, so I deleted it. So I was gonna do it again, but I ate all my tomatoes. I'll just wait till I get some more tomatoes. But anyway, our spiritual self, you know, our spirit self, not spiritual, our spirit self, we're duality, spirit and soul. If this is my first video, this is the perspective I'm coming from. If this is my first video watching, this is the perspective I'm coming from. We are duality that I have identified. We are spirit, we are soul. Our spirit is our physical experience. Our soul is what travels from generation to generation. So our lower level chakras are what keep us attached to this physical experience, which is our spirit self, Lani. But if we think about the location of our lower chakras, and I don't know nothing about chakras, I'm just theorizing. So those of you who have studied, don't get on here with no, well, actually. Let's just think. Because I feel us out here seeking knowledge and studying all this stuff, you're really just dumbing yourself down because you're trusting someone else's knowledge instead of your own. But let me mind my business and keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. I need to actually hear the lyrics of that song because I can't remember a song called Keep On Trucking was a hit. Keep on trucking. So anyway, yes. Then you have your soul side of you that travels from lifetime to lifetime, your spiritual aspect, and that is connected to your higher level chakras. So when you are living in your lower level chakras or your masculine energy, you are feeding your spirit, your physical form. But when you are living in your higher chakras, your feminine energy, you are now feeding your soul. So in order to feed your soul, you must move from masculine energy to feminine energy. So if you find that you are moving too deeply in your masculine energy, I know a lot of us, especially black women, you know, we're very masculine. We're dudes with vaginas, take a shot. But if we realize in order for us to feed ourselves, in order for us to reach our fullest divinity, in order for us to do all of these things spiritually that we're trying to do, we must release that masculine energy. It's all intertwined. And again, I haven't researched this, this just makes sense to me. All right, so yeah, you got to keep one foot in the physical world, which are your lower chakras, and you got to keep one foot in the spiritual world, which are your upper chakras. So the balancing of the self, you can look at it masculine, feminine. You have to express both in order to be balanced. You could think of it as spirituality, you know, you got to ground yourself, you got to reach your higher, whatever it's called, you know. So you could think of however you want to. You could think of the chakras, you know, I have to move in my chakras. But the point is, in order for us to be completely balanced, every aspect of our duality has to be completely balanced, which means our spirit has to be being fed, and that means our soul has to be being fed. Previous videos explains to you, or it doesn't really explain. So we are duality. My spirit self is my current manifestation, which is Lani. My soul self, I have named her Ednetta because I feel if our soul has a name, we'll stop ignoring the mother. I introduce myself. Hello, my name is Lonnie Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. If that is your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, reposting videos with your community so that we can grow. So my soul, I was like, well, if we named her, maybe we'll stop ignoring her. So I have named my soul Ednetta. So Ednetta travels from lifetime to lifetime, but Ednetta needs a vehicle. Lani is her vehicle. But we go through this life experience, you know, feeding Lani, feed our physical form, and we ignore our spiritual form. So our spiritual form is slowly shrinking. So that's why when we're babies, we know all this stuff about our past lives because our soul is like, boom, I'm in this. And our physical form, our incarnation is, you know, really small and helpless and can't really control nothing. But because our incarnation is baby, like what really can we do? We're a baby. So our soul is like all gassed up, ready to rock and roll, but it's stuck in this goddamn baby, you know. So slowly as that physical experience starts evolving and growing, that it starts, you know, ignoring the soul. So now the soul is shrinking and the knowing is going away and it's all shrunken. You know, we put so much into the spirit and we believe all these lies and we're ugly and we're stupid and our social economic, just because we have more money than someone, that makes us better than them, and all these different lies that we tell ourselves. That's all us feeding the spirit, the present incarnation, because that's the physical world, our lower chakras. And so no matter how you try to, cut it, the only way we are going to reach balance in any aspect of our lives, if we have to move from our lower chakras to our upper chakras. And like I said, you could do masculine, feminine chakras. You could do, just whole body, however you want to look at it, just all the same. We have to, all of us. But most of us are in balance because we keep both feet in the physical world. But we're supposed to keep one foot in the physical world and one foot in the spiritual world. And we're supposed to not only feed our spirit, which is our present incarnation, but we're also supposed to feed our soul, which is the aspect of us that travels from lifetime to lifetime that needed a vehicle, which is your physical form. What's good, John Lonnie Appleton? I am a healthy family advocate. If that's your content of choice, please consider following, commenting, sharing, reposting videos with your community so that we can grow. I am talking about how we are all going through a great awakening. It may look different for all of us, but we are all going through this right now. Life is taking us through the ringer, and the only difference between how I go through it and you go through it is perspective. Some people are going through a great awakening, and some people are going through a great upsetting. The only common factor is this motherfucker's great. And it can be something as close as your spouse. Me and Dre are going through the exact same thing. I am going through an awakening. He is going through an upsetting. And so I left off last video how we need to keep one foot in both sides. I am in the physical world. Yes, my life is falling apart. And I haven't said anything about it because I'm like, what is telling people my life is falling apart going to do? Like, if I can't help anyone telling my business, it's just me telling my business, and y'all don't need to know my business. So for anybody to ever dig something up about me, she didn't tell us about that. It wasn't beneficial. I ain't just out here ratting myself out. Every single story I tell has a purpose, even if it's an embarrassing story. It was to make you laugh. So I haven't talked about the financial space that we're in because it's like, what's the point? I'm not out here trying to pretend it ain't what it is. I'm just like, if I can't speak about this in a way that is healing to myself, in a way that's healing to others, then what's the point? But I receive, and what I notice is this damn app deletes every video that I start talking about the future. It deletes it. So I don't think I'm supposed to talk about the future. But I'm going to say this, and we're going to see what happens. I believe that Dre and I are going through this the way that we're going through this because I need to be able to observe someone going through this as the great upsetting. But I also need to go through this as the great awakening. So then once we get through this, I can speak to both perspectives. Because right now, I have gone through awakenings before, but I went through it from the great upsetting perspective. So this is the first time I've experienced loss of this capacity, which we haven't lost anything yet, but everything's impeding. It's like, is we gonna be able to pay it or not? Y'all better eat that bread slow. But I am hopeful that the vision that I have for my life, the reason why we're experiencing this is because I am no longer putting energy into this present life. Therefore, it must cease to exist.